All right, we back with another episode of No Line, No Bull. We got Danielle Portis here, founder and CEO of Rose Gold Crown. For the audience, Danielle, tell them what Rose Gold Crown does for people.
So Rose Gold Crowns is a wellness organization. We help professionals recover, rebuild, and thrive through therapy, transformational coaching, and tribe center events.
Okay, and you say recover. Like, what do they recovering from? Is it substance abuse, mental abuse? What is it?
Anything.
Anything.
Yes.
Okay.
So grief, loss, heartbreak, being broke, homelessness, job loss, identity loss, anything that can derail us and throw us off our square. And so I work with cycle breakers, trailblazers, and entrepreneurs, creatives who typically we are taught to just go, go, go. When I say we, because I created the organization for me, and it's just grown over the years. And so I realized, like, when I got to a certain point in my life, I'm like, how did I get here? And I recognized that I just didn't have support and didn't have people who looked like me, had the same like ambition as me, but also wanted to have fun and be able to be authentically myself in all spaces.
Okay.
So I created them.
Okay. Well, I see you covering all aspects of it, right? So from the get-go, was that one of your plans to cover everything?
No.
So what was your initial coverage?
My initial coverage was just safe spaces. Okay. I wanted to create a space for, so it started off as just women. Okay. And I wanted to create safe spaces for professional women to have a place to like authentically process things they had going on, but judgment free, and like not having to compromise who they were professionally. Right. And so one staple of my event still currently is people are able to submit topics anonymously. So we would talk about all type of stuff, and you didn't know who was going and like who was experiencing what.
I like that.
And then I don't allow people to share their titles until the end, so you don't get because I recognize like if you think there's people that have a higher status or a higher financial bracket than you, it limits other people from being able to openly share. So I keep that to the end for networking.
So you letting everybody do it anonymously. So does that like help people open up a little bit more because people don't know that it's them asking the question? Okay.
Yeah, for sure. And then also because people are, I'll just say like talk, like to keep things like what happens in this house stays in this house. Okay. From early age, like you don't tell your business, you don't share certain things and stuff. But I mean that keeps us captive for real.
It really does. Recovery versus maintenance. How do you feel about that?
I think when I think about recovery versus maintenance, I think maintenance is just going. It's like extended survival mode, where I just have to maintain. This is what it is, and I just have to go with it. Again.
Is it like put like a Band-Aid over it?
Yep.
But the wound's still there?
But the wound's still there.
Okay.
Or some people don't even put a Band-Aid over it. Some people just leave it like, I'm just going to bleed and go. Right. I'm going to just keep going and don't even acknowledge that they're hurt.
Exactly.
And so recovery is allowing yourself to say, like, okay, something happened to me and I'm not okay. And I get to still maintain my identity as who I am and not be not have it taken away from me because something happened to me. Like we aren't always in control of what happens to us, but sometimes people take ownership like, oh, I'm not as strong as I thought I was because I experienced something.
Exactly. So the psychological toll that it takes on people, can you explain like some of the different tolls that it done took on people, good and bad?
In regard to
like the substance abuse or like the verbal abuse. Let's just touch on them two right now.
okay. So I'm smiling because I always think about like how did people get there?
Exactly.
When you are in a space of being abusing a substance, it's typically a symptom of something. And a band-aid. And verbal abuse is different from substance abuse because verbal abuse is an experience that's like is outside of our control. Like if somebody was to say something to me, that's not my fault, right?
Yeah.
Versus if I am abusing a substance, that is a choice that I've making
and inflicted upon myself.
That I'm inflicting upon myself for probably a certain reason. Like I can't think of a person that I've worked with that has experienced substance abuse or currently experiencing substance abuse that will be like, I always wanted to do that. Like,
exactly.
There's something that they're typically trying to soothe and escape. And don't necessarily see it as that. But we like something I love to share is most of us are addicted to something. Like an addiction is anything that you continue to do knowing it is not in your best interest.
Like chocolate every day.
Eating chocolate every day.
Like the black and mild.
Black and mild. Being on the phone. Scrolling on social media, knowing you got deadlines.
Exactly.
Like that is an addiction. And so one addiction doesn't have a different hold over the other because if it was so easy to stop it, we would all stop doing what it is.
With addiction, do you think sometimes people don't see it as addiction? For instance, you're a little kid, you see all your uncles and aunties now smoke weed, so now you think that's cool to smoke weed, but then you get addicted to weed.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think people. I think more people would not see it as an addiction than does see it as an addiction. Once you can see that you are addicted to something, you're on a road to recovery because that's you've accepted that this is something and you're able to admit that you have a problem. But most of the time, people see it as they think they're in control of it. They think they only do it when they want to. They think they can stop whenever. But it's like, you know it's causing you harm, but you haven't stopped. So if you could stop it, why aren't you stopping it?
Exactly. Let me just take a little twist right now. Who all runs Rose Gold Crown with you?
Just me.
Just you? So
yes.
You have no CEO, no board, no secretary?
So I do have a virtual assistant and I have another transformational coach that works with me and sees clients as well. But as far as money, it's just me.
You over there working, huh?
Sip and Soothe. Tell us a little bit about that.
So Sip and Soothe is an event that I have every third Saturday. And it is a space for men and women to come. We have different topics that we talk about. So we discuss all types of experiences that people may need to recover from. And then people are able to come with their own questions. I have guided conversation. I provide cocktails and food. So it's sip and soothe. And I offer, like, we go over different coping skills, different rebuilding strategies. So going back to Rose Gold Crown's pillars to recover, rebuild, and thrive, we cover all of those bases at Sip and Soothe.
Is there a certain location, or is there a primary location where you kind of do it?
So for about 9 months, we were at Willis Tower.
Okay.
The last few months, we have gone to different restaurants and tried out new spaces.
Okay.
There would be Wild Bee, and so again, I provide the drinks. It's $27. It's open to all, and you're able to come with. You can submit questions anonymously. You can ask questions there. I also have, so we come in, we do an icebreaker. We talk about different things such as setting boundaries, healing from heartbreak, healing your inner child, balancing professional life and personal identity, just things like that.
Tell me this. I know people come to your business, they already kind of know what they're getting into, or they're kind of willing. But how easy is it? Is it hard, like pulling information from them, or they come like kind of willingly, like ready to, put their experiences on the table, should I say?
I think it's I say people come knowing what they're getting into, but, and maybe I take that back. I think people come with an idea of what they're getting themselves into, but really don't know what to expect. And sometimes I don't either, because you have to come with an open mind, because you don't know what people are going to come with, and some people can get triggered by what other people are saying. So you might come with an agenda. You want to talk about this, but then somebody else says something to make you think about something that you might have experienced. And so, but what I will say is that it is Sip and Soothe can be an emotional experience, because people are, again, like triggered, and things can come up that you didn't think bothered you. And so it is easy for me, because that's what I do, to pull things out of people and get them to talk. But I think it can be challenging for people to like name, or realize certain things about them. One experience I have in my mind is sometimes when couples come, they may not know their partner as well as they thought they did. And so that has been a
triggering point.
A challenge, but I feel like in a great way, because you need, like, if your partner, if your people don't know you, if you are not able to be authentically yourself, you don't know who's for you or against you, because they don't even know you for real.
Exactly.
And so I love when people are bringing their friends, their family. We had a huge breakthrough one time, mother and daughter, who had like different relational challenges, were able to talk and share like what has been on their hearts that they always wanted to say, and didn't have the courage to. And so I think like it's a mixture. There's people that may not say anything and are just there to listen and feel, and I don't force it. And then there's some people that feel like, okay, it's people around, so ain't nobody gonna do nothing to me if I say something that I typically wouldn't say in a private
So you make it like a comfortable setting for them.
Yes.
So they can be open. Let me ask you a question. Rose Gold Crown.
Mm-hmm.
Why that name?
Ooh. So Rose Gold Crowns is a blend of revelations that I had in my own personal healing journey.
Okay.
The crown part came first because I was in a space where I had to recognize that I was born worthy, I was born royal. I realized, again, on my own healing journey, that when I look back and process different experiences that I had settled for, I realized that I had always thought about like I had to earn something or work towards something in order to have something that I desired. So I remember a time where I would like sabotage dating experiences. It's like, oh, like I probably shouldn't date right now. I don't have the time to really invest in this, or I work and I go to school, or when I get a certain financial status, then I'll be able to travel more. Like I always felt like I had to do something else to get something else. Mm-hmm. And so with that, it was like my happiness was always out of reach. Mm-hmm. And I had to really recognize like, no, like I was made in my Father's image. Like I'm God's, I was formed worthy of everything that I want. If I can think it, I can have it. And so that's where the crown part came in.
Okay.
The rose gold part was something that came to me in meditation. So Deepak Chopra, I don't know if you all are familiar with him. He's like a meditation guru, I guess you can say. But one thing that he says is that prayers is you speaking to God, and meditation is allowing God to speak back to you. And so I always make sure that when I pray, I make time to meditate. And there was a probably like 5 times during meditation I heard research rose gold, and I kept ignoring it because it's like, what, like for what? And so this is back in 2016. Rose gold was like the thing. Everybody wanted rose gold jewelry, rose gold phone cases, rose gold clothes, like everything. And so I'm not a person that likes to follow trends. Mm-hmm. So I didn't want anything rose gold at the time, even though I liked the color. I just didn't want to be seen as like a follower.
I get it.
And so when I heard research rose gold, I'm like, wow, like why would I do that? And then because I heard it so many times, I finally did it. And when I did it, I'm like, oh, this is what God wanted me to see. And so when I researched it, it said that rose gold is a mixture of copper, silver, and gold. And the more copper, the more pink. Mm-hmm. And I thought about copper. Nobody says I want copper jewelry. Give me a copper this.
Healthy, right?
Now we know it's healthy, but back in 2016,
we didn't know all that, right?
You think of copper, you think scraps.
Mm-hmm.
Like at the time, and so I was like, wow, what if I included my scraps? What if I owned my experiences that I have been through? And I was like, you know what? I thought about times where, like, I was a teen parent. So I had my daughter when I was 16, and people was telling me I was, like, ruining my life, and I wasn't going to be anything, and people counted me out. Mm-hmm. And then by 2016, people asked me to come speak about being a teen parent. And so it's like, that's the rose gold. Like, don't allow people to count you out based on your negative experiences, because once you heal and overcome from them, they're going to be reaching out, and they're going to want you to teach them how you did it. They're going to praise you. Just had an experience where I had a teenager who was just struggling so much during high school and didn't have any support, but family was fighting over graduation tickets. Like, that's...
I done heard that plenty of times.
Yeah, and it's like, but y'all ain't help with no homework, ain't been to no parent teacher conferences, but you
Nope.
think you want to settle, you want her to include you in the celebration, and that's the gist of it. Like, it's not an isolated experience. I feel like so many people have experiences where people have tried to count them out because of something that they experienced, but then once they overcame it, now all of a sudden, like, they want to come back around. And Rose Gold Crowns teaches people that we love scraps. Bring them. Let's talk about them. Let's lay them on the table. We're not going to put no Band-Aids over them because we need to heal them.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't take away from who you are. They're just a little blemish. Like, let's talk about that scar.
I know that's right. I know that's right.
In so many words, let me show you how to take those scraps and turn them into
Rose Gold Crown.
Rose Gold Crown.
Put it on your head, walk around with it. People gonna be like, come be on my podcast.
There you go. See what I'm saying? See how I found you out of all them people?
Mm-hmm.
Won't he do it?
Yeah.
What's been the hardest part of building this? Because community work ain't easy.
I would say the hardest part has been how can I put this? Like, articulating the value. Because people only invest in what they find valuable
at that point in time.
Mm-hmm. And like, even when you think about therapy, most people don't want to pay out of pocket for it. They'll go, like, if they have insurance, but people are not trying to, and I'll say, especially people of color, do not invest in their mental health. And so
that sounds about right.
Mm-hmm. And don't see it as something that, like what I need to go to a therapist for, what I need to talk about it for. That's not gonna change anything, but you need to process it. If you don't, then it becomes suppressed. It builds, you soothe. People claim that they cope with it, but to cope means to face and deal with. So most of the time, people aren't even coping. Really, they're being distracted. Mm-hmm. And so that's been the hardest part, and trying to get people to know how serious it is. And also, that having a therapist doesn't mean that you're crazy. You have a therapist so that you don't go crazy. Like, if you have a mental illness, a therapist, you can see a therapist, but you also will probably have a higher level of care, like inpatient hospitalization or psychotropic medication. Like, when people are suggesting that you go to therapy, most of the time it's just talk therapy and having somebody a non-judgmental, non-biased ear to support you. And I think sometimes people internalize it as, people think I'm crazy, or people think that I'm out of control, and that's why I need to go talk to somebody. But if you are out of control, a therapist wouldn't even be where you go.
They send you to the crazy house, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
Let's go. What do you do when you need to pour into somebody? Who takes care of the caretaker?
You saying, like, who fill my cup?
Yep.
I have therapy.
Okay.
So I have therapy. I have mentors. I have friends. And again, like, I call it my tribe.
Okay.
I built my tribe for me, and it's grown. So when I started Rose Gold Crowns, I wasn't a therapist. I was in school, but I did not see me doing therapy in this business. I was going to school to be a couples therapist. That was what I thought I would be. Now
couples therapy?
Yeah, but I don't like couples therapy. So
why?
I don't like
getting in the middle of people's shit.
I'm not gonna say I don't like getting in the middle of people's stuff, but like, I don't want to be the one to, like, you have to sit with them wherever they are. And that's hard for me because sometimes people are not coming to actually heal and recover from things. They really want to be validated.
Take my side.
Take my side.
I'm right.
And and so it's like I've had situations where people felt like I was taking somebody's side. Then you have people who like argue, and people also need individual therapy when they are experiencing couples therapy. Most of the time they don't want to do that. So it's layered, where I would prefer individual therapy than couples or family.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
What's next for Rose Gold Crown? What are you building towards right now?
I am building a membership. So
okay.
What it will include is meetups, virtual and in person. It will include live monthly master classes and quarterly workshops. So there will be set training schedules, where people will have access to master classes and workshops where they can have the tools to recover, rebuild, and thrive, as well as be in the midst of a community of people who are doing the same thing.
Exactly.
So one of the things I recognize as a therapist is when we are in therapy, sometimes we recognize that our relationships, we outgrow some relationships or recognize they weren't as healthy for us in the first place. And so sometimes healing can come with isolation, but that's not healthy either. And so I want to create a space where people are always connected to like minds, so that you don't have to get to a place where you are isolated, because I'd rather people stay in their stuff than to be by themselves. Right.
So if someone's listening right now, they know they need to break a cycle, what do you tell them?
If you know you need to break a cycle, my advice to you is to trace the cycle back to where it started, as far back as possible. And I say that as the first step because if you think that you are just going to change a behavior without uprooting the actual cycle, you are more likely to relapse and not recognize when you are going back in that direction in advance until it's too late. Because our cycles are typically deeply rooted, taught, learned behaviors. And it's also going to be difficult with setting and maintaining boundaries and separating yourself from, like, if it's a cycle, 9 times out of 10, there's people still operating in that. And so you have to be able to set yourself apart and be comfortable with doing so.
Where can people find you, follow you, plug in, and support the movement?
On Facebook, Danielle Portis. I also have a free Facebook group called Crown Conversations. On Instagram, I am Rose Gold Danny. I also have a Rose Gold Crowns page. And my link, my bio has a link to book a free therapy consultation, book a free coaching conversation. You will have the link to join the Facebook group. Any events that I have coming up, you can find those links there. Every third Saturday is Sip and Soothe, and every fourth Saturday is a virtual pouring process.
Sip and Soothe. What they sipping on?
Their drink of choice. So we have cut waters, we got Hennessy, tequila, water, sparkling water, juice. If you are not indulging in any alcohol, but it is a space to sip on whatever makes you comfortable that day.
Sound like my type of party. I'm gonna come on through there. You gonna invite us through?
Absolutely, it's open to all.
Okay, just making sure. But yeah, we appreciate you coming through No Line, No Bull, and sharing your story and your progress with people and helping them out through Chicago. Do you do it out of Chicago too?
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about that for a minute. Where else you do it at?
So I'm actually planning a tour. So every year I do a dinner. Well, it's grown from a dinner. It started as just a dinner, but now it's a whole weekend.
Okay.
It's called Queensgiving. And so part of the Queensgiving this year is going to be a like a healing panel, because I newly incorporated serving men since last year. So it will be a men and women wellness weekend. And then I'm going to take the Sip and Soothe on tour once that's complete. So Queensgiving is the weekend after Thanksgiving. It started as just a safe space for people who were dealing with holiday blues and seasonal depression, or separated from their families for one reason or another during the holidays. And so it's grown still for that reason. Like, that's why it will always be the weekend after Thanksgiving, because some people don't have people during the holidays to give people something positive to look forward to. But after that is concluded, we will launch a Sip and Soothe tour. So we have people in the tribe that are in Minnesota, or Minneapolis, Detroit. We have people in Dallas, New York. I haven't identified the 6 cities that we'll be in, but if you follow me on social media, you'll be able to see where that tour will begin.
Okay, we appreciate you moving all around the country like a big dog. But now,
healing is essential everywhere.
Oh yeah, healing, yeah, laughter, all that, yeah. Well, we appreciate you coming on here, and we look forward to you probably coming back on later on down the line with a bigger and better story.
Okay, thank you.
Yes,
thank you for having me.
Yes, ma'am. And we out.